1. When designing a training module for the Association of State Boards of Geology (ASBOG) test, which instructional strategy best supports adult learners with diverse professional backgrounds? A. Rote memorization drills. B. Case-based problem solving. C. Standardized lecture delivery. D. Multiple choice question repetition. 2. In evaluating a candidate's readiness for the ASBOG test, which assessment method best aligns with adult learning principles? A. Peer discussion analysis. B. High-stakes summative testing only. C. Closed-book recall quizzes. D. Fact recognition worksheets. 3. During curriculum development for ASBOG test preparation, what is the primary advantage of integrating real-world geological scenarios? A. Enhances short-term memory. B. Encourages surface-level recall. C. Improves test speed only. D. Promotes application and transfer of knowledge. 4. Which communication approach is most effective when mentoring a candidate who struggles with geologic mapping concepts? A. Provide immediate correction without context. B. Use analogies related to the learner's experience. C. Deliver complex terminology upfront. D. Avoid questions to reduce anxiety. 5. When aligning ASBOG test preparation materials with regulatory compliance, what must be prioritized? Adherence to state-specific licensure standards. B. Elimination of higher-order problem sets. C. Exclusive focus on national geology history. D. Avoidance of scenario-based learning. 6. A facilitator designing ASBOG practice tests should ensure evaluations. A. Rely exclusively on multiple-choice memorization. B. Include formative feedback to guide improvement. C. Exclude practical applications of geology. D. Focus solely on past exam question banks. 7. Which curriculum development strategy best addresses adult learners' need for self-direction in ASBOG exam preparation? A. Mandatory identical study paths for all. B. Flexible, learner-driven study modules. C. One-size-fits-all lecture approach. D. Eliminating reflective assignments. 8. In mentoring, what is the best method to foster critical thinking in candidates preparing for the ASBOG test? A. Provide the correct answers immediately. B. Encourage reflective questioning and discussion. C. Limit engagement to rote definitions. D. Focus only on memorizing formulas. 9. Which evaluation technique ensures alignment with both adult learning principles and ASBOG testing requirements? A. Summative-only exams. B. Continuous formative assessments with feedback. C. Peer review without criteria. D. Ungraded participation logs. 10. In communication with candidates, which technique most effectively addresses test anxiety related to ASBOG exams? A. Overloading with technical terms early. B. Providing reassurance through structured guidance. C. Discouraging discussion of exam fears. Avoiding practice tests altogether. 11. A mentor designing mock ASBOG scenarios should: A. Focus on recalling trivia unrelated to practice. B. Integrate ethical and regulatory dilemmas. C. Avoid problem-solving tasks. D. Prioritize identical question formats. 12. Which adult learning principle should guide the adaptation of ASBOG preparation for experienced geologists? A. Repetition of elementary definitions. B. Linking content to professional practice. C. Eliminating applied examples. D. Ignoring prior knowledge. 13. What is the primary role of regulatory compliance in ASBOG-focused curriculum design? A. Ensure adherence to national licensure standards. B. Eliminate flexibility in instructional delivery. C. Avoid scenario-based testing. D. Prioritize only local case studies. 14. When evaluating ASBOG exam readiness, which method is least aligned with adult learning theory? A. Reflective journaling on test performance. E. Collaborative problem-solving exercises. C. Open-ended formative feedback. D. Passive lecture memorization. 15. A mentor providing individualized support for ASBOG candidates should prioritize: A. Identifying learner-specific strengths and needs. B. Delivering identical feedback to all learners. C. Relying solely on past exam questions. Avoiding reflective questioning. 16. In developing ASBOG preparation curricula, which evaluation approach best balances accountability and learning? A. One high-stakes final exam. E. Progressive assessments with feedback loops. C. Ignoring performance outcomes. D. Eliminating reflective self-assessment. 17. Which communication method best supports clarity in teaching geological regulatory standards? A. Using jargon-heavy presentations. B. Simplifying language while maintaining accuracy. C. Avoiding discussion of compliance. D. Providing only written legal documents. 18. When integrating mentoring into ASBOG prep, which technique strengthens learner confidence? A. Structured feedback and guided practice. E. Ignoring errors to reduce pressure. C. Requiring isolated independent study. D. Providing only self-study resources. 19. In adult learning, how should an ASBOG instructor address diverse learning styles? A. Mandate a single delivery method. B. Provide multimodal resources and activities. C. Focus exclusively on visual aids. D. Eliminate practical applications. 20. An effective evaluation method for ASBOG practice mapping tasks includes: A. Feedback on process and reasoning. B. Solely marking correct versus incorrect answers. C. Ignoring context of decisions. D. Focusing only on speed of completion. 21. Which curriculum development step ensures regulatory compliance in ASBOG training programs? A. Mapping learning outcomes to licensure standards. B. Ignoring national guidelines. C. Emphasizing untested geological trivia. D. Prioritizing outdated regulatory examples. 22. When providing mentorship feedback, the most effective strategy for adult learners is: A. Specific, actionable guidance. B. General encouragement only. C. Correcting without explanation. D. Avoiding negative feedback. 23. In aligning ASBOG test preparation with evaluation methods, which approach best supports knowledge transfer? A. Simulated real-world case studies. B. Memorization of outdated definitions. C. Closed book recall only. D. Avoiding scenario-based testing. 24. An adult learning strategy particularly useful in ASBOG preparation is: experiential learning through practice problems. B. Emphasis on rote vocabulary memorization. C. Elimination of learner participation. D. Focusing only on test timing drills. 25. Which regulatory compliance principle is critical when designing ASBOG practice materials? A. Incorporating ethical standards and licensure laws. B. Avoiding professional code of conduct topics. C. Excluding real-world legal cases. D. Ignoring national geology standards. 26. When evaluating test readiness, which formative tool best identifies gaps in ASBOG candidates' understanding? A. Diagnostic pre-assessment quizzes. B. High-stakes testing only. C. Standardized test repetition. D. Memorization flashcards. 27. The most effective communication strategy for explaining ASBOG exam expectations is A. Clear, transparent guidelines with examples. B. Vague generalizations about exam format. C. Avoiding discussion of test structure. D. Exclusive use of legal documents. 28. In mentoring ASBOG candidates, which practice best models professional responsibility? A. Integrating ethical decision-making into scenarios. B. Focusing only on memorization of facts. C. Avoiding controversial case discussions. D. Ignoring application to real-world practice. 29. For adult learners, integrating self-assessment tools into ASBOG preparation enhances A. Metacognitive awareness and ownership of learning. B. Surface memorization of facts. C. Standardization of identical results. D. Dependence on instructor-led recall. 30. Which evaluation design principle most strengthens fairness in ASBOG test preparation? A. Transparent rubrics and criteria. B. Subjective instructor grading. C. Ambiguity in scoring standards. D. Reliance on hidden benchmarks. 31. In curriculum development, sequencing ASBOG topics from foundational to advanced ensures A. Cognitive scaffolding for mastery. B. Confusion through randomization. C. Elimination of integrative skills. D. Prioritization of trivia over skills. 32. Which mentoring approach fosters long-term professional growth for ASBOG candidates? A. Encouraging reflective practice and career application. B. Limiting feedback to exam results only. C. Discouraging exploration beyond test prep. D. Focusing only on memorized knowledge.